Welcome to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast, where we learn about some success stories and some not so successful stories. But either way, we learn. Each episode, we talk with successful real estate agents and vendors about things they have done to make them successful and some things they did that you might want to avoid. Join us for each episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin.
All right, listeners. Well, thank you for tuning in. I have a special treat for you today. Just one of the nicest people in real estate in the Charlotte market that you'll ever meet. And most, will definitely help you out. And I'm in a bunch of groups with this person, and it's just my favorite person to be in a group with. Miss Joy Kaiser. How are you doing, Joy?
You are too kind. I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. Well, other than that thing about my daughter's car getting stolen, but everything else is good.
Oh my gosh. I hope that all works out for you guys.
I hope, but I'm hoping it's one of those things, a couple of years from now you can laugh about, but it's not too funny right now. No. But anyway, I don't want to hijack the interview or anything. I know I was supposed to just say fine. So Joy, for all the listeners out there, Joy, First American warranty, correct?
Correct. I get a lot of variations of First American, American First, Amera First, but yes, First American. So
I'm Home Inspection Carolina, and I've been introduced as Carolina Home Inspections.
Yeah.
And the problem is there's a lot of other companies, I shouldn't talk bad about them, but I'm going to, that have copied my name, in some variation, and they're getting a lot of, they're probably getting some business off of it. But, the reality is I can't trademark Carolina because that's our state. But anyway, enough of that. Well,
it'd be nice
for Joy, for the three people out there who don't know who you are, give us a little background. And how did you, where are you from and all that sort of stuff? And how did you get to get into the business that you're in today?
Yeah. Well, I am one of the 5 Charlotte natives. I was born here and have been here my whole life, except for a small time I lived in Asheville back in my 20s, but I've been here otherwise. And I actually was a realtor right out of college. So I got my real estate license right after school and went to work at Allen Tate at Providence Road. And
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
I've had my real estate license since '97, and I take my CE every year, and
that's about when I got mine, 96 or something. But keep going. Sorry.
You may have been in the same class. So
I
took class with Cindy Chandler, and so I've kept it up all these years. But I was just looking for something a little different after being in real estate for about 6 years. So I did another type of sales for a while, and then was ready for a change again, and was thinking about going back into real estate and started interviewing with a few companies. And then one day on Indeed, a job popped up with First American, and it was a home warranty position. So I went and interviewed for it, and it was just a great fit. And I've been here for the last 7.5 years. So awesome. I've been really, really happy. I love the company, love the people I work with, and of course, love working with all the awesome realtors in Charlotte and vendors. So great.
Yeah. And for all the listeners out there, Joy and I are always like trying to create some events or something for realtors to come to. So if you're not following Joy or myself, please follow us or some of our groups, because we're always posting. Between all our groups, I'm sure we're probably doing at least twice a month some sort of social event.
Just posted one just a few minutes ago. So
I'm excited about that. And reading the comments too of people who've been there, that kind of made me excited there.
I know. I feel like I've been missing out on the.
I know, right?
Like I never even heard of it.
I never even heard of this place. Yeah. And tell us, actually, since we're talking about that, tell all the listeners about that real quick. What's the deal with that? Now I'll go back to your thing, but since we brought it up.
We're doing a realtor networking and social hour. What's the date? February 9th? February 9th from 4 to 6.
And
So we'll have a drink ticket for everybody and some appetizers. It'll be just a great time to get together and connect with other realtors and a few vendor partners and just have a good time.
Sure. And what's the name of the place again?
The Vortex Bottle Shop. It's in Harrisburg.
Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. After I'd never heard about it until we talked about it, and now I'm like,
I know.
I
I
check
pulled
this
it up
place
online
out.
to get the address and everything. It looks like a cool place. So
Cool.
everybody's
And for
saying
all
the
the
food's really good too. So
yeah, and for all the listeners out there, realtors, if you guys have an idea of a cool place that we could do something, we're open to it. So message Joy or myself. We'd love to hear about it.
good point.
Okay, so Joy, let's back up a little bit. Now, you were a realtor with Allen Tate Providence Road from what years was that? When was that?
It would have been like 98 or so to 2002.
Okay.
97, 98.
Okay, cool. All right. So then, yeah, well, I have lots of questions about that later, but I don't want to get into all that. But cool. Well, I got my realtor's license. I had to go back and look, 95 or 96, but it was always, I never was a realtor. It was always because I was back then, it was the only way I could get access to the property. Now they have an associate key, but they didn't. But the only thing I've ever bought is my own, rental.
Yeah.
Stuff. But anyway, well, cool. Well, very cool. So you have your finger on the pulse of real estate here in Charlotte and in other areas as well. So I have lots of questions about that. What in this market? I mean, obviously it's something crazy. We're dealing with COVID, not much supply. How do you think that real estate has changed in the past 2 years, in your opinion? I mean, none of us have a crystal ball or know, and maybe moving forward, how real estate's done. What are your thoughts on that? And for all the listeners out there, she was not given the questions ahead of time. I mean, I'm just hitting you.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the lack of inventory has changed things so dramatically. I think for all of us, for buyers, for sellers, good on the seller's end, of course, for agents. And then, I mean, we're seeing things like waived home inspections, waived warranties.
Boo.
I was just talking to an agent yesterday, and I said, people, the warranty is, something that people are easily leaving off, but our home systems and appliances don't really care that it's a seller's market and that they paid, well over asking and high due diligence. I mean, they still break down. So it's really still a very important part of the transaction, but we're definitely not seeing it get included in offers as much as we used to. There are other ways around that, that I try to discuss with agents, but we're seeing a lot of buyers just pay for it on their own. So
sure.
But yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing is the lack of inventory. I mean, there's just the builders are not building as much, and there's just not a lot.
And they're backed up too. I think the supplies and a lot of the parts and the like the HVAC and stuff like that, they can't get it in a timely manner. So everything's backlogged a little bit.
Yeah, well, Joy, and materials are so much more expensive too. So I mean, we're just seeing a lot of issues with. I think the builders are seeing a lot of issues and having to change things and increase prices, and it's just interesting times for sure.
Sure. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about warranties too, and kind of like why you think they're important and that sort of thing. One thing I can tell you is, from the home inspection standpoint, what we do is just a snapshot in time. You know what I mean? Like today, this is what we see, what's working, what's not. But, a lot of times, say we do an inspection and things have life expectancies. I always tell people my dad was into antique cars. And if you have an antique car, I can guarantee you it doesn't have the original tires, belts, hoses, because those things wear out and they have to be replaced. And exactly. Same thing with a house. There's certain things, the roof, the water heater, furnace, they don't last forever, and they have life expectancies. So a lot of times we do an inspection but we're just looking for, is it functioning? Because you can't make a seller fix something that are, typically that's working but not broke. So a lot of times we'll say, and I don't ever say near the end of its life expectancy, but I sometimes I tell them, I'm like, hey, you know what, your air conditioner is working great. It's 22 years old. It's working great. It's great differentials, but it's older. You may want to think about a home warranty. Is a good thing. So is that good what we're doing? And tell us about home warranties and how that helps out, buyers and real estate agents and maybe even sellers, because I always say I don't want a transaction where I can't see the person in the grocery store 6 months later and them not be friendly to me. If we're not friendly to each other, something's not right. So tell us about the role of home warranties and what you guys do.
Yeah, so that's perfect because warranty, we want everything to be in working order when the coverage begins. And that is the case a lot of times with the home inspection. The HVAC, for example, is very old, but it's working. That's a perfect item to be covered by the warranty. As long as it's working as it's intended at the home inspection, we're good. It doesn't matter how old the unit is. I will say people are always concerned about the old units, but a lot of times it's the newer stuff that you have to worry about. But that's another topic.
I agree.
But yeah, no, that's perfect. And like you said, a home inspection is just a snapshot of that day. So, it is.
Yeah, I mean, home inspectors can't predict the future. We don't have a crystal ball or anything like that.
Yeah. A lot of claims are placed within the first 30, 60 days after closing, because people use their systems differently. You may have somebody that you may have two people living in a home, and then somebody with, several kids moves into a home. I mean, they may be running those systems differently than the previous owner. So, things can go wrong.
Sure. Well, so tell us what sort of stuff, what does a typical home warranty cost and what does that cover?
So it can range anything from like $450 to $650, $700, depending on, what options you add. And it covers HVAC, plumbing, electrical, water heater, and then appliances, depending on the package that you get. And then, we have add-ons like pool, septic well, things like that.
And how long does that typically the coverage for? Is that a year or how long?
Typically it's a year. I mean, we can order upfront up to 3 years. We have discounts on 2-year plans, but you can do up to 3 years. And then you can renew it, of course, at the end of the year or 2 years.
So I'm trying to think of a couple of questions here. This is actually a tougher interview because we know each other so well.
I know.
I'm trying to think of things to ask you.
I know everything.
Yeah, no. Well, no, I think it's a good thing. Are there deductibles typically? I know that's a big question. And how do you guys?
So there's a service call that's paid to the technician when they go out, and they'll diagnose and determine if it needs to be repaired, or if we can't repair it, we look at replacing. Typically with a repair, they would just pay that service call fee. If we get into replacing something, there's going to be additional cost, because a lot of times things need to be brought to code, or we need to modify like the existing, say the existing ductwork to fit the new HVAC unit that we're putting in. So things like that are out of pocket for the homeowner, just because we can't, every house is different. I've seen all sorts of things, like the crawl space door is too small to fit the new unit, so it has to be reworked. So things like that, would be out of pocket, but they would be saving on the cost of the new unit, and then the labor to install it, which can be thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I have a rental house right now where the old water heater is in the attic, the original one, because they built the attic around it.
Great idea to put a water heater in an attic, right?
Yeah. Who thought of that? So it had to be replaced. So the new one is down like they built a place for it, and the old water heater is still in the attic because they never could get it down, and we couldn't put the new one up there because the attic hatch is so small.
Yeah.
And but little bone of contention for me. I had Section 8 tenants there, and the inspector, you know, I am an inspector, but this is a Section 8 inspector, told me that, that attic in the water heater that's been disconnected had to have a TPR valve put on it, and it had to be piped down. And I'm like, it's not even connected. It's a relic. But you know what? I went ahead and did it because it's $8.
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't want to like have a testosterone match with this person. I just want to and I did everything that was on their list, and I said, all right, I'll put this $8 thing on a water heater. It's not even connected. And then
so funny.
When they came back, they didn't even go up there and look at it, but they passed me. So I'm okay. But I'm like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to give them a reason to not like me and then start looking for other stuff.
Exactly.
Well, tell me, I have a question, Joy. So if I'm a real estate agent, and I see all types of marketing opportunities, real estate's very competitive. We all know that. And, as a buyer's agent or seller's agent, is there anything I can do? And I don't know what I know there's certain rules and regulations, but like, can I offer to pay for a warranty to have that extra thing for my clients? Can that be done? And how's that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, we see a lot of agents paying for the home warranty. Some of them just offer it as, if you list with me or buy with me, you get a free home warranty. Sometimes they'll pay for it as a closing gift, especially, first-time home buyers. A lot of times the agents will pay for that. It's a very nice closing gift. So yeah, they absolutely can. And they can, we can put it on the closing statement. And just comes right out of their commission, or they can, pay by credit card. So
yeah, well, I'm big on home warranties because the name of this game is obviously do a good job for your clients. No matter what, the agent, the vendors, everybody, and if you do a good job, then they will refer you to their family and friends. And for us, again, it's just a snapshot in time, and we hate it. Like, that water heater or that air conditioner that was working fine at the time of inspections, 3 weeks in breaks down. Then, wow, what that inspector meant, they didn't miss anything, but the perception is, so I love a warranty, and obviously everybody wants the client to be taken care of so that they, and even the realtor, if anybody feels like they were stranded or just, it was a transaction and that was it, then they're not going to refer you to their family and friends. So
yeah,
I just feel like the warrant, to me, it's like the home inspection is like the first part to identify things and negotiate if you can get repairs. A little bit tough in this market,
right?
In a normal market, you can get some repairs, and then the home warranty is the extenuation, going into that year, because every time I've ever bought a house, and you probably too, every person ever, they probably in the beginning stretched a little bit, like, oh my God, what's this payment going to be? After you're in a house 3 or 4 years, that payment's not as bad, but, and you just don't want to be hit with unwanted or a surprise, I guess. Surprises are not good in real estate. So,
yeah, people are putting so much money into a transaction now, more than ever. So that's the last thing they want. And, too, I hate getting these calls from buyers after the fact, and they're saying that no one ever told them about a home warranty. They didn't find out about it till they moved in and their AC broke, and their next door neighbor says, well, call your home warranty. And they're like, well, nobody ever told me about it. So, that's the worst kind of call. So I always tell agents, I know you have I know they have the professional services addendum, but it's also really important to give them a warranty brochure and say, this is what's covered in a warranty. Take a look at it. If you decide not to do it, that's fine. You can, but they can.
But they offered it. They can
sign it actually on the brochure that they're waiving it, and then that way you've got that second piece showing that, hey, you offered it. Because a lot of times when they're going through everything, it's like, oh, do you want a home warranty? No. But they'll say, I get buyers saying, well, if I had known it covered the HVAC, or if I had known it covered the refrigerator, I would have gotten it. It's like, they're just getting all this information. So really giving them that brochure so they know what it is and what it covers, then they can decide, and you're covered, the agent's covered that way as well.
Awesome. Exactly. Well, and I have to ask you this. All right. So obviously, just like me, you have competition. And I would think the fact that you were an actual realtor for several years, it probably helps a little bit too. If I'm a realtor, why should I pick Joy other than she's the nicest person in real estate in Charlotte? But other than that, why should I pick you and your company over some of your competitors?
Well, I mean, First American, we've been around for almost 40 years. So, we see a lot of warranty companies kind of come and go, or they may have a local rep for a little while and then they don't, or they go through a lot of local reps.
I've seen that. You've been one of the most consistent.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know of anybody else who's repped your company other than you.
What's that?
I said, I don't know anybody else with First. A lot of the other companies, because I've been doing this a long time, they've had multiple different people, but you've been the mainstay.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some where, they've had a rep and then like they don't have anybody for years. I mean, I won't say the company, but there's one like they haven't had a rep in years in the area. So, it's very important to have a local rep. I would never want somebody to go and order a home warranty off the internet. There's a lot of them, that I've never even heard of. There's like an Amazon warranty, which has nothing to do with Amazon, but I'm sure people click on it because they're like, oh, it's Amazon,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely you want a local rep to be able to help with questions or, any issues that come up. But, I'm just consistent. I've been here a long time. I'm really active in the real estate community. I'm a member of all the associations in the greater Charlotte area. And, I try to really be as responsive. If I don't answer the phone when you call, I will call you right back. In almost all cases, unless I'm in like an all-day meeting or something, but my voicemail will tell you that, so you know what to expect. So, and then I have a in-house partner. Her name is Jasmine. And so if anybody ever needs help with a claim and they give me a call, I can just send that to her, and she's awesome. She'll help them, till the claim is complete. So it's super awesome to have that one person that is, in our corporate office that helps, if there are any issues that come up with claims. So that's a really awesome thing that First American offers to us. And we've just got great comprehensive coverage. Our HVAC coverage is one of the best out there. We do the rekey for buyers. So they get their locks rekeyed right when they move in. We offer new construction plans for the mechanicals and appliances. That's been a really big seller the last couple of years, because a lot of builders are only offering like a 1-year warranty. So we'll pick up like years 2 through 5. So yeah, but well, cool. I mean, more than anything is just knowing that I'm here to help, with anything that clients or agents need. So, and I've been a realtor, so I've been in your shoes. I know how important your clients are, or how important agents' clients are. So, I treat them.
Absolutely. The database, the list is more important than anything. And because they refer you to they move on average every 5 years. And then their sphere, when they get on that Valentine Moms or whatever, and who do you recommend for a realtor? Well, who do you recommend for? So it's huge.
I love watching reputation. Those. I love watching those, seeing, all the agents that are recommended. It's fun.
Yeah. It's same. And they, the home inspector, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to see. You just sitting there watching.
Gosh.
It's like
be so hard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So many.
Hello, I'm Bill Gallagher with Superior School of Real Estate, and I'm here with Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina. Preston, I've always liked your style, especially those pants, and also I've been interested in the home inspection business for a long time.
Well, Bill, that's ironic. I've always admired your style, and I've always admired your ability to educate these fine folks for sometimes 4-8 hours a day. I wish that I could do what you do.
Hey, Preston, wouldn't it be cool if we switched? Preston, We sure got what we wished for, buddy.
We sure did. And now that you're the expert, Bill, I mean, you are wearing the pants. And I'm the instructor and the educator. Tell us what Home Inspection Carolina is doing these days to make the home buying process easier for realtors and home buyers.
Well, Preston, all our home inspection reports now are online for the real estate agent and the client to review the report online and to be able to create a repair list basically online by either clicking repair, accept, monetary compensation, and once they prepare the request, they can then press email, text, or print right then.
You mean it's all automated, Bill?
Absolutely, we are high tech.
Wow. What else is Home Inspection Carolina doing different these days?
Well, Preston, we're training our home inspectors to be non-alarmist. We are training them to put things into perspective and to simplify the message for the homeowner.
Non-alarmist is key, Bill. You remember those days of the 100-page reports and those 3-ring binders that would just go on and on and on, la 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 la. Thank you for being a good non-alarmist.
And Preston, one more thing. We fix the small stuff for free. Do you remember when home inspectors always put those little nitpicky items on those reports?
Oh, bless their hearts.
Well, at Home Inspection Carolina, if we can fix it in 5 minutes or less, we do it for free. We're better with a caulk gun than a keyboard any day. We just fix it.
You mean there's no cost for this, Bill?
Preston, it's free.
Wow.
Well, Preston, these pants really are a catch.
Well, Bill, I've enjoyed wearing the suit, but I don't think I could wear it every day because I got to fix the small stuff for free, and I don't want to ruin a good suit.
Preston, it's been a lot of fun flipping the switch.
Awesome agents out there. So.
Well, I want to ask you a question, but before I want to back up on something that you said that some people weren't ever offered a home warranty. And that kind of ties into with this crazy market. Some people, the home inspection, skipping the home inspection. I hear, well, they're not going to fix anything anyway. I know of a lawsuit right now. I don't want to say any names because, I don't want to, I just don't want to do that. But where a client moved in, got a lot of problems, and they said that the agent told them not to get a home inspection. So, I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I just would not want to be that agent, and probably the same thing for a home warranty. If they told them, or I don't know if they told them not to, but, encourage them not to get the offer or, that sounds a little bad. I told you not to. I mean, it wasn't probably like that, but it was probably like, we're waiving the home inspection to try to get this house. But you could obviously see how a buyer down the road who has problems said, well, that was the advice of my realtor. How do you see that? And I could see the same thing with home warranty as well. If they advise, maybe not so much as making the offer, but what's your feelings on that, Joy? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
No. I mean, I think it's, like I said before, I think it's important to, let them know what a warranty is, what it covers, have them call me or have me call them and go over it. And then get that waiver signed, let them make the decision and have them sign it. Either way, if they're going to take it or not take it. So, I wouldn't want to, as an agent, I wouldn't want to encourage somebody not to get a home inspection or a home warranty because, it's Murphy's Law. That's when the
that'll be the one
blow up right after closing. So I would leave that decision in the buyer's hands for sure.
Awesome. Well, Joy, you were a former real estate agent, and you obviously talk to a lot of agents, a lot of events and things, and you're friends with a lot of highly successful agents that I know. What do you think is, and again, for the listeners, she didn't get these questions ahead of time, so everyone's like putting her on the spot. If you had to say, like, what do you think it is about those agents that really are successful what are there any common traits or I'm thinking that probably some new agents might be listening to this. What do you think about it? The ones that are successful over a long period of time. You know them pretty, a lot of them, some even personally. What do you? Is it a character trait or habits they have, or are there commonalities with real estate agents that are pretty successful? What would you say they are?
I think so. It's really fun to see different agents and like how they get their business. Like, you have the TikTok people and the
we talked about
people
that.
who run these gigantic Facebook groups, and they, just get all their business from social media. Like, it's amazing to me. And then there's the old school agents that, send the handwritten notes, or they door knock or whatever. It's just really interesting to me to see, how things are successful for different people. But I think in the end, it's, just being genuine and caring about your clients, and the fact that they can see that, and it's not just like a transaction. Like, they know that they care and they want, the very best for them. They're not gonna, show them 3 houses and, we're gonna sell you that 3rd house, one of these 3 houses or whatever it is. I mean, I remember training,
and all 3 houses are.
And
all 3 houses are listed with our firm too,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I remember like old school real estate training, they would tell you to go to 3 houses and save the best one for the last, and, really close them on that house. And, that's just not, it's not a close them. It's, it's their biggest financial investment for most people. And it's where they live and they raise their kids. So I think just being genuine and, showing that you care about them long-term and staying in touch. I heard a stat at a class I was at the other day. It was something like 85% of agents don't follow up after the first year with their clients.
Oh,
I have to go back to my notes. I might be quoting that wrong, but it was a really high number. And I thought, that can't be right, but I think, just staying top of mind and doing creative things to stay in touch probably goes a really long way.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. That's 100%. I mean, I don't like to feel, I mean, I know I go to a lot of real estate training and I sponsor a lot of stuff, and there's scripts and, and I don't knock those, and I get it and all that. I think an agent personally, we're kind of looking at a place in Florida, where you had to get an agent. I've always just been my own agent here for rentals and stuff, but like you said, I just want them to be level with me and not put the sales, script on me. I mean, and just be a friend and listen to me. This is what we want. These are kind of like on our wish list. And, obviously there's constraints, financial, what's listed, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And where you want to be. But on the flip side of that, you want them to be a strong negotiator for you.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like you want them to really be your friend on your side, but you want them to negotiate the best deal, and I mean, I don't know. I guess that's like I want you to be my friend, but I want you to be a bulldog for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or a terrier.
Yeah.
In your case, I don't know. So anyway, sorry, I'm just sort of.
Yeah, the Boston Terrier has not made an appearance. Usually, the minute I get on a Zoom call, she's either wanting to run around the house like a maniac or jump up on my lap or something. So
yeah, if you guys don't follow Joy Kaiser on Facebook, follow her. And what's your TikTok?
Joy in CLT. So like Joy in Charlotte.
CLT. And your
Peloton leaderboard name. I'm so creative.
And your terrier makes an appearance. What's is it? Her Piper? Is it Piper? Is that a girl? Is it a girl?
Yeah, and I can dress her in head to toe pink, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's so cute." So no, she's a girl.
Well, what's crazy? We have a Cavapoo and we have a French Bulldog, and the Cavapoo is the boy, and the French Bulldog is the girl. Which you think of French Bulldog, I mean, she's like
Yeah.
buff and
He's
he's more the cuddly, sweet, whatever, but she is a hot mess. That's all I will tell you. I'm a
they're
sweet
crazy.
dog, but just crazy. I don't know. I just can't.
There's a lot of
Yeah, I don't know if it's that bulldog terrier thing. They're just and now that I have a French bulldog and I love them, but everyone I meet, I tell them it's a hot mess, right? And they're like, oh yeah. So it's like something.
Piper's almost 4, and I mean, she still acts like a puppy.
Yeah.
Stealing socks. Quit doing this. Quit doing that.
Well, she'll be Zoe. Zoe will be really good for a while, and then all of a sudden she'll chew up a plant. Like hadn't done that in like 6 months, and then all of a sudden does it. And just, what are you thinking? I mean, like always, we're like bad dog, and she, grumbles down the road. Like, don't you remember the last time you did this? But anyway, back to real estate. Let's go on to something a little more fun. Now, what is the craziest, and I can come back to this, you can't think of it right now, craziest, weirdest real estate story or crazy I mean, we've had a bunch of crazy stuff. And you can change the names to protect the guilty and the innocent. Craziest story that you've heard, it doesn't, in real estate. Do you have any crazy real estate story? And I could come back to it. I know that's kind of a right off the bat sort of,
Yeah, you have to give me this one ahead of time because of course I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
I mean, we've had a ton of Von DeLee story type stories.
Oh yeah, all the Bill Gallagher stories for sure.
Oh yeah, and third trailer and with 4 buried oil tanks and septic that doesn't work and just crazy stuff. And
crazy stuff.
People.
I mean, I'm hearing some crazy stories about like agents going and like knocking on doors of sellers, trying to get their buyer's offers in, like going directly to the seller, like weird stuff like that lately.
Yeah, I've heard too to stay away from those love letters. For a long time they would well, not a long time, but some agents have written like letters of, what their buyer, they would love to raise a family here and and I get it, but man, you got to be careful because there's so many like RESPA, fiduciary duty type things that I've heard the general word is don't do that. Don't do that. It's kind of bad. I will tell you, sort of awkward or whatever. We bought not this house, but our old house. We got a pretty good deal on it at the time over in Windridge Estates, and we love that house. But the husband and wife, I guess we were buying it from, were going through a divorce, and that was the reason for selling it. And it was very, this was before the Dodd-Frank thing, where this was back when everybody had to come to the closing table. Yeah. And boy, you could just feel the tension. I mean, they were. And it was like, because I remember it had a pool, and I was like, can you sort of tell me, while we were leading up to closing, I was like, I'm familiar with pools, but I would like to, could you show me like what you do and stuff? And he said, sure. They said, sure, but they had to arrange a time. And I knew this was my first clue. It had to be a time when she wasn't there. He would come over and show me the pool, but they could not be there at the same time. And right away, I'm like,
red flag.
And it was just one of those things too at the closing table. You could, and like in our negotiate, just like little, it was not a good divorce, I guess. And boy, man, I stuck my foot in my mouth. Like I didn't even mean to. How you say something and you get halfway down the sentence and you're like, oh, I was like, oh man, we really love the house. It has a pool. I hope it brings us as much happiness as it. Yeah. I was like mid sentence. I'm like, can I retract that? But anyway, my crazy real estate story. All right. Well, lightning round.
Lightning round.
Yeah, this is a game called This or That. All right. Christmas Vacation or Elf?
Christmas Vacation.
Animal House or Caddyshack?
I've never seen either.
You haven't seen that? Oh, You got to do that today. All right. By the next time I see you, you got to see.
I'm it for today.
Oh my gosh, you got to see Animal House or Caddyshack. Oh my gosh, best movies ever. Celebrity Crush. Could be from way back.
Cody?
Was it Scott Baio? Was it Scott Baio? That was my wife's.
Cody?
Who? Oh, Cody, yes.
No, I'm just joking.
Now, my wife has that crush too, but and I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all.
You don't have to be jealous, right?
No. I better stop there. Yeah. No, but he's really good. I mean, he is like, for all the people out there, if you get on Peloton, Cody is the dude. I mean, like, I think he's very inspiring.
Yes.
I'd
be more excited to meet Cody than like most celebrities. So, but also,
you know what is so crazy too, now that you mention it, we were somewhere and I was just going through, you know how you go through your stories or whatever, and one of your stories came on and it was Cody. She was like, not even looking, she was like across the room. She was like, who's got Cody on there? It's like she recognized the voice.
The caramel popcorn.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah. All right. Well, back to this or that. Let's go with dog or cat.
Dog.
Of course. For you. I mean, I know
I'm allergic. I'm allergic.
Oh yeah, we were
so
talking
cute,
about that
but...
with the cat petting place.
Yeah.
Do you prefer a call or text?
It kind of depends, but mostly text.
Yeah, me too. Because it's like I can think about it a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
I like that. And email. I like email because it gives me time to think about it. Plus, I can run it through the spell check.
Yeah, or if I'm in a meeting, you know, I can respond to a text versus take a call. So,
yeah,
you know. A lot of things need to be by phone. You know, I definitely like to talk on the phone, but as many meetings as I'm in, you know, I can respond quicker on text or email.
I'm not a good texter, so I'm not fast enough, so I have to call. Like I can't, my thumbs aren't quick enough. Are you more cardio or weights?
Oh, weights.
iOS or Android?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
Like an Apple, iPhone or Android?
Oh, iPhone, Preston. Come on.
I know, I'm the Android holdout.
Get with the 2022, dude.
I know, my whole family's iPhone. Do you prefer big party or small gatherings?
Small gatherings.
Okay.
Surprisingly, as many events as we do.
Yeah. Well, I think I know the answer to this, but I could be wrong. Knowing that you went to school at Appalachian and you lived in Asheville, beach or mountains?
Mountains. All day.
I like the mountains, but the beach. I love the mountains. It's beautiful, but it's like after a while, I'm like, all right, what do we do now? That's
I
just
feel
me.
that way at the beach. It's so boring. I love to hike, so I'm not like a sit in one place person. So at beach.
Well, that's
totally
true.
Boring.
Like we'll go out on the beach, and my wife, nothing more she loves more than she'll get a chair and read on the beach.
That's awesome.
I like to go out to the beach, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk down to the pier, come back. I'm like, you wanna play frisbee? And then I'm like, all right, let's go boogie board. I can't sit.
Yeah.
Like she can sit there and read
so
all the time. I try to read, but then my mind starts wandering. I
used to love to read. I don't know what happened. I think like too much technology. It's like you become too ADD to sit down and read a book.
Squirrel.
I used to read all the time.
Well, I'm a big Audible person. I mean, I listen to books on Audible.
Yeah.
You get 2 books a month. That and podcasts, because we're driving around a lot, and I just listen, and that's good. But I never had the patience to sit and read. Other than I can read obviously, but I get too distracted or something. All right, what's worse to do, laundry or dishes?
Oh my gosh, laundry.
Like
I feel like that's
doing the laundry's not bad, but I tell you where I fall down is folding and putting away. Like it just doesn't get done a lot of times until like it's time to do the laundry again.
And so you keep reaching out of the laundry basket, and then it's like,
what's my cleanest dirty? How's that one smell? All right, I can wear that one again. And I couldn't do that for when I had COVID for like 6 months after. I'm like, I could be wearing like nasty, stinky clothes. I don't know. Well, I thought about that. At first it wasn't bad. I lost my smell for like 6 months. So it took me a while to get it back.
That's a long time.
And at first it wasn't bad because I have a French bulldog and they flatulate a lot. So that part was good. But then it was like, I worry. I'm like, I could stink or I could eat something like bad and not even know it. I mean, that's like one of the first things that lets you know this milk is not good.
Right.
So, but I got it back now. So
like those expiration dates.
Yeah, I got it back now. So good on the eating, not so good with Zoe. But anyway, we want all of our 5 senses. Would you rather wear flip-flops or tennis shoes?
Tennis shoes.
You prefer a car or truck? And I'm going to put SUV with a truck as well.
SUV.
Rather spend a day at the beach or, of course, we just had this discussion. All right, I'm going to change that. A day at the mountains or a day at a theme park?
Mountains.
Yeah, I just did the theme park thing because we wanted to do it with my daughter because it's like her last year.
Yeah.
We went to Universal and her mother won't ride the roller coasters with her. And it's like, I want to prove that I'm like cool dad, And oh my God, the Harry Potter, that one and the Hulk. And it's like the whole day, I feel like I'm like this close to like,
oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I really don't want them to, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, between that, I want my daughter to think I'm like cool dad who's not afraid of anything. But then on the same token, I'm like, if they have to stop this ride and clean up because of me, everybody's going to be mad at me. So I'm like, all right, keep it together. And you can do it. Just don't eat much. Yeah. So, all right. The most important question of all, toilet paper, over or under? Like when it's on that thing.
Over, right?
Over. Yeah. Over's beard or mullet is what I always say. Most people say beard, but a few people say the mullet because they say if they have cats that the cat won't, do the thing.
Or Boston Terriers.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, last question for you before I want you to give out all your contact info. What information would you give to a real estate agent if they were just starting out? And maybe didn't have a whole lot in the budget, and you were a real estate agent and a lot of successful real estate agents. What advice would you give them, like if they were just starting out trying to, get their name out there, get known on a budget? What would you, if you had to do it all over again today, you woke up and you were a brand new real estate agent tomorrow, what would you do? What things would you do?
I think probably social media is the most powerful thing they can do. Take some trainings from some successful agents and, just be really consistent on, as many platforms as you can, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I can hear LinkedIn is beneficial for agents, and just be really consistent, really brand yourself, and just keep, every single day or every other day, just post and build your sphere and reach out to everybody, let them know what you do, wear your name tag, take your business cards. So many agents walk around without business cards. It's amazing to me.
Oh, I know. Well, and some are doing
like candy. I mean, oh my gosh.
The digital business card now, which I still haven't done that I need to do.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that, and I think that's cool. I think, to me, I want as many modes to be known as possible. Yeah. But I still like the old school cards because you can't leave a digital card behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could do a QR code or something, which is cool. It's funny. We were big into QR codes when they first came out like 8 years ago. And we thought this was going to be like the coolest thing ever. And nobody used them. Nobody knew what they were. And we just kind of like did it. And now since COVID, every menu.
Yeah.
So everybody knows how to do that. But no, I agree.
I think it's great to have both. I think they each have their place. But and I talked to an agent one time, she, rather than giving out business cards, she did like little pop buys. So she would do like a little pack of extra gum with like a cute little tag that said, if you want an agent that goes the extra mile, and then had her card attached, and she would give those out like at the, when she's checking out at the grocery store and she gets in a conversation with somebody or, goes into a business. I thought, what a great idea of, just something a little different to set you apart.
Cool. I have some cards too that I have different ones, but one's like a little $100 bill. And I copied that.
So cool.
Somebody gave me one about 8 years ago, and I just kept it for so long because I thought it was so cool. When it's folded over, it looks just like a $100 bill.
Yeah.
And then when you open it up, it's a little disappointing because it's a card. So I had some of those. But what happened? I kept that card for like 8 years just because I thought it was neat. And it dawned on me, if I kept this card for 8 years, I need to get some of these.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I've done a couple.
I've seen those. Those are very cool.
Yeah, but just don't leave it, at a restaurant or dancing establishment or something. And then somebody's really upset with you
because they're a server with those.
Their hopes, you got them excited for a minute and then like dashed it. That may not be the that may not be the feeling you want to induce or whatever. But good stuff. Well, Joy, thank you so much. Hold on, before we go, I did want to back up on your social media thing. Everybody who listens to this, follow Joy and I, because we are planning on having an event. We haven't got all the details worked out yet, but we're going to be bringing in some social media people. And the thing I recommend is like listening or following a bunch of different people who are good at it, and just take a little bits and pieces from never copy, in my mind, you never copy anybody exactly to me, but it's like, if I get a little something from this person, a little something from that person, if there's a little something I can pick up and then add my own flavor to it, now you have something original, but
there are so many agents and mortgage lenders that are just killing it on various platforms, and there's so much to be learned from them.
Oh yeah, and follow them, and again, like a lot of times, like again, I don't want to copy somebody exactly because I feel that's, to me, is just so bad. But I'll see something and that idea will spur me to like, I can apply that same thing in something totally different and come up with something totally original, but it gets the wheels turning in your mind, I guess.
That's why I like TikTok, because it is totally acceptable to rip off other people's stuff. So,
well, the thing you could do, I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm friends with a lot of home inspectors, and I know you are with lender people. I always ask them too. There's ones in other markets that I follow, and we're friends, and we copy each other. I'll come up with something good, they'll copy it, and vice versa. But nobody in my market has seen it. So, a real estate agent can totally do the same thing. Become friends with somebody and find somebody who's really good in another market. But you know what?
Yeah.
Ask them, like, just say, hey, can I steal this? I always do that. And then I tag them in it. So, and I just say, I stole this from so-and-so. And then they'll cut. It's kind of like a feel good, and then they'll come and they'll be the first person that comments on it, so just, to me, that's kind of respectful, but whatever. But anyway, well, awesome, Joy. Well, how does someone follow you, find out more about you, find out more about warranties and whatnot you have to offer, and was there a website, Facebook, Instagram, all the properties?
Facebook, just follow me. I don't have a business page. Just send me a request. Instagram, it's Joy Kaiser 2, and TikTok is Joy in CLT. So Joy INCLT.
Cool.
My phone number is 704-244-0648.
Awesome. You're brave. No, that's all good. Is there an email for you as well?
Yep. jkaiser@firstam.com.
Awesome. Well, Joy, thank you so much for giving us your time. You've been very valuable. For all you guys out there who, if you got value from this, and you did, go follow her on Facebook and Instagram. Give her a like; she'll like you back. But thank you for listening, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thanks so much for having me, Preston.
You've been listening to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin. Join us on the next episode, where we'll be talking to a successful agent or vendor about the right things to do and the wrong things you should avoid. Join us on the next episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast.